Hi everybody, what is going on? It is your boy C4. Today, continuing the series where I'm breaking down the top 5 draft prospects for the 2014 NFL Draft, as well as giving you a pro comparison, just a little something that'd be more easier for you guys to compare to the pro game from the college. As always, I'll be giving you top 5 through 1, as well as adding a sleeper into the mix. So without further ado, the sleeper pick for the tight end position is going to be Colt Lyerla, the tight end from Oregon, who sat out this final year here after he was arrested for cocaine. He wanted to, He opted himself to leave the Oregon Ducks and to kind of work with figure his shit out. But I think that he's going to be an absolute stud, probably the best sleeper in the entire draft. And luckily enough, Chip Kelly, my boy Chipper, probably knows him better than anyone else. So I think Chip Kelly actually probably will take a gamble on this guy. I think that his pro comparison, it's a cross between Aaron Hernandez. He has a lot of the athletic traits that Aaron Hernandez have, not as athletic. So I'm going to give him to Dennis Pitta, still on a very, very athletic tight end. But maybe not as good in the blocking game, but he has great hands, will be an excellent sleeper, probably will fall between rounds 5 and be an undrafted free agent. But yeah, Colt Lyerla will be a sleeper if I have to say so. As big a sleeper as anyone else in this draft. Number 5, we're going to Arthur Lynch, the tight end from Georgia, 6'5", 258 pounds, probably will run somewhere in the 4.7s. Very, very good blocker-receiver combination. He had 390 yards and 5 touchdowns this year with Georgia. Also played very, very good and had a lot of clutch catches in big games over LSU, South Carolina, big SEC matchups. My pro comparison is current Philadelphia Eagle, Brent Celek. I think that Lynch, Brent Celek is pretty much one of the best well-rounded tight ends in the game. Not flashy in blocking or receiving, but good at both. And that's what I see for Arthur Lynch. He currently has a round 2 to 4 grade. For teams hurting for, maybe if you want to go to a 2 tight end set, he'll be a good number 2 tight end to have in most offenses in pro game. But yeah, he'll be a good guy. Number 4 is C.J. Fiedorowicz, the tight end from Iowa. This year he had 253 yards, but 6 touchdowns. He's very, very good blocker, very, very good mismatch in the end zone. He's 6'7", 265 pounds. Probably will run a 4.6, 4.7. So it's an athletic 6'7". You can't really compare it to Jimmy Graham because, again, kind of like what I did with wide receivers, there's no one really that would compare to Calvin Johnson. Same goes for tight ends. No one really compares to a Gronkowski or a Jimmy Graham. But my pro comparison is Heath Miller, and a very, very underestimating athletic guy that can help in the blocking game, has good hands. I really think that even though Iowa's jerseys resemble Pittsburgh Steelers, it pretty much looked like Heath Miller out there on Saturdays. So I think that's a very, very fair grade for Fiedorowicz. Number 3 will be Jace Amaro, the tight end from Texas Tech, 6'5", 260 pounds. Will probably run somewhere in the 4.6, 4.7 range. My comparison for him is in Aaron Hernandez. I think that very, very good hands, very fast. He's an excellent run runner, much more of a catcher than a blocker. And I think that, I personally actually think New England will get him to replace Aaron Hernandez. That's how close he is and resembles that, Hernandez's kind of game. He finished this year with 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. Probably one of the best receiving tight ends in all of college. A couple stat lines on, I'm using WalterFootball.com, a great draft resource. In his final big games in the Big Ten, he had 9 receptions, 143 yards against Iowa State, 9 receptions, 136 yards against West Virginia, 8 receptions, 119 yards against Oklahoma, and 15 receptions, 174 yards against Oklahoma State. So I think he's going to be an absolute beast this year. And I do think that New England will take him just because that's how closely he resembles Aaron Hernandez. Number 2 rated tight end, I have Austin Seferian-Jenkins from Washington. Absolute beast, 6'6", 266, will probably run a 4.55, 4.6 40. This final year, he had some struggles this season. But he obviously worked more on in the blocking game. But this year he had 538 yards and 6 touchdowns, but had a very, very solid college career for Washington. I really compare him to Mercedes Lewis. He's not as athletic. You can't really compare him to like a Vernon Davis type guy, but he will be a good red zone mismatch. Doesn't have the straight line speed, but he probably is a little bit better of a blocker than Mercedes Lewis is. Similar skill sets, great hands. I do think that he will be a great tight end to have in the NFL. So I think, having him, definitely he's my number 2. I have him over Jace Amaro because Amaro is not as strong or as well-rounded as Seferian-Jenkins. That's why a lot of people actually have Amaro at number 2. But now I'm going with Safarian Jenkins. I want an all-around tight end. But yeah. Number 1, though, the consensus number 1, first-round draft pick is Eric Ebron, the tight end from North Carolina. 6'4", 245, around a 4'5", 40. Pretty much almost everyone has him compared to a Vernon Davis, and I can't agree more. He's phenomenal, excellent speed, mismatched speed from the tight end position. Had 55 receptions, 895 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Great blocking. Will fit in any offense that, even though Philly is pretty good on tight end, I think this guy here would be an ideal tight end for a Philadelphia-type, Chip Kelly-type offense. A very, very explosive tight end. He could be an H-back, line up at slot receiver. I think he's going to be an absolute beast. I can't wait to see his combine. If you guys remember long enough, Vernon Davis had an insane combine, one of the best combines of all time. I think Ebron will have a similar one. Turn a lot of heads. If you guys haven't heard of Eric Ebron by now, you will definitely buy combine time. But yes, Eric Ebron in comparison to Vernon Davis is very, very fair, very, very justified. Even though his stats may not really reflect that from his time in North Carolina, he will be a beast in the pro game. But there you have it, guys. So leave a comment in the comment section below with who you think will be the top tight end in the 2014 draft. As always, smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to Beast Mode TV, your home for these NFL draft pro comparisons. Until next time, guys, it's your boy C4 saying peace out.